When you look at certain statistics, things look great. In fact, you would think that prosperity is boundless. Of course, we tend to enjoy reality here. Those who desire the truth don't want propaganda and manipulation. They simply want to know the big picture. In a world where information is limited and often twisted, we must put the puzzle pieces together in order to see that picture. And that's why you came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to talk about the global economic collapse. I'm going to show you what's happening in the markets, then we're going to flip over into why these things are completely twisted and only obstruct reality. We're going to show you so many things today, it's going to make your head spin, so let's get into it right away. Here you're looking at the markets on the right hand side, the top three, S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. They started off today doing really well and have fallen ever since. The S&P is just slightly into the negative, as well as the NASDAQ. The Dow Jones is up, though it has come down throughout the day. What was interesting about it is that we had two pieces of information that made this rise, and that was quite funny. One of those is this: U.S. weekly jobless claims dropped to the lowest level since 1969. I'll destroy this in a moment, but also wanted to mention the fact that apparently there's supposed to be a trade meeting that's going to take place. Let me tell you something. There have been many trade meetings that have taken place. There will be many more meetings that take place. I can assure you there will be no shortage of meetings. Has there been any progress? Well, in fact, we have absolutely no indications of that whatsoever. Yet the market went up considerably as a result. So back to the weekly jobless claims. We have seen this number. It is currently at a 49-year low. This does not give you even a fraction of the picture today. I'll look into some other factors in a moment, but I want you to think about this for just a second. The state of the economy in the United States today is completely out of whack historically. If you look at all the data and start to piece it together, you form the big picture. The initial claim that there would be a meeting was immediately turned down by an administration official. Quote, "The White House is not expected to announce a date for a meeting." This was out of Reuters. The initial report was out of the Wall Street Journal. So stocks went up after the Wall Street Journal article. Stocks did not move down after the Reuters article. This happens over and over and over again. There's a rumor that's put out there, stocks rise, we find out it's not true, and stocks don't drop after that. This is a manipulation that's taking place today. And now for a dose of reality. Job layoffs surge 35% to the highest level to start a year in a decade. The information that we have today about these jobless claims does not correspond to the data that if you just dig one layer deeper, just one layer deeper, using their own statistics, BLS statistics and others, it gives us this impression that we're not being told the truth. Look at the civilian labor force participation rate. While it has come up a very small amount, if you look at it on a historic basis, it's not doing very good at all. So yes, it has come up somewhat. And if we take it from the bottom that was experienced here in 2015, yes, the number has improved. But we've also seen other instances of this back in 2010, and what happened? It got worse over time. There's no telling what's going to happen here, but so many people are not working. If you want to consider them as part of the unemployment rate or not, to me it doesn't matter because the numbers are fake. They're fake and they're fake. If you want to know about the unemployment rate and why it's fake, I have an entire video breaking it all down. Go to the end of this video. If you click on it, you will see exactly why. You know, this extends further and further. We can look into more of the statistics, but we're never going to get the understanding when they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is one very good example of that. If you do a search for videos on, for example, Tent City Bike, you're going to see countless videos of people riding their bikes through these different tent cities that are enormous. One individual, if you look look at the second one here, I think this is him, 11 minutes long. For 11 minutes, he's riding his bike and all you see are tents. There are people everywhere now that are living in these homeless tent cities. And do you think for a second any of these people or most of these people are filing jobless claims? Do you really think that? I do not believe so. Many people have that in their head that yes, they are, and I'm sure there's a few, but to think that those statistics are really keeping up with reality, well, I think that you got your head in the sand. Let's take a look at some stats that are not appearing to be very important to those in the financial industry right now. But even JP Morgan themselves produced this. We're looking at the global manufacturing PMI. This has been declining substantially over the last year. You could see it on this chart. It peaked out right at the beginning of 2018, maybe the end of 2017, and has been falling ever since. German industrial orders year over year have fallen to the worst level they have been, I believe, since the financial crisis. Let's take a global view of this. Merchandise exports and imports of selected economies from January 2017 to February 2019. You will see a pattern over and over and over again. United States, down. European Union, down. Japan, Brazil, India, these are all down, down, down. Everything right now is looking softer. Everything is weakening. We're watching this happen right before our very eyes, but as long as Apple has their new iPhone coming out, everybody thinks everything is okay, but you got to get smart, you got to get wise. These things appear where you least expect them. Look at the BBB rated bonds that are expanding right now. Explain to me why they're expanding if everything's just fine. They are trying to seek the alpha, as they say, because nowhere around the world can you get the returns you're looking for. This is the risk taking that's taking place at the end of the cycle, and those in the know are aware of what's happening. Global economic policy uncertainty, January 2005 to February 2019. Obviously, over the years, this has become considerably worse. I mean, come on. Now we're seeing that it's off of its peak, but in general, things have really become uncertain, and that uncertainty causes volatility. However, if you look at the actual VIX index, it's only had one direction, and that is down, and it will continue to fall down most likely. That's probably going to be another one of the trade of the day where you have the Federal Reserve admittedly having a short position on the VIX. They admitted that before. It's documented, and they don't even care. Nobody even accuses them of anything. It makes for a very easy trade, so they are all for it. People actually encourage that. The manipulation that nobody is seemingly aware of or just chooses to ignore it, I don't know, but regardless, it's there, it's happening. Well, today we've got some really messed up things to deal with. Global PMI, new export orders index, January 2010 to February 2019. You could see this falling along with what we saw with the JP Morgan stats. Basically, same situation happening right here. Over the last year or so, this has fallen further and further. But have no fear, because UBS expects central banks to cut interest rates. There was something also interesting about this, was that in the event that the stock market goes higher and higher, we see the S&P clearing 3,000, we see the Dow Jones going to new highs, stocks are doing well in general, consumer sentiment is high, inflation is low, what do you think they're going to do with interest rates? Well, if it's doing really well, then I do believe that they will increase interest rates. That's going to be a huge headwind, and people need to be aware of that. If they let it run too long, too hot, you're going to have inflation. There's no possible way that this can be ignored. You know, I break all of this data down in my books explaining how the reality really is, but if you want to check it out, I got a free e-course. There's so much detail in there. There are over 30 videos, I believe, that just go one after the other, all different topics, all different issues in a very instructive manner with diagrams, charts, and other things to check out. So look at that, the free e-course. It's on my channel for you to see. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a like on this video, you are supporting me. You're supporting the truth, so I do appreciate that very much. If you want the financial education you weren't taught in school about how to make money, about the foundational principles of the monetary system, check out these two books. They are available at the link in the description. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. If you want to know why the unemployment rate is fake, it's false, it's a lie, click on this video. I break it all down. See you there.